They wrote me off, I ain't write them back. Nah. Follow me, but don't double tap. I ain't liking that. You subscribe, I monetize. Now who's striking that? Wanna see the contract? Who got the rights to that? This my story. I spent my whole life on life. Time's up. Shador Sanders with the rollie in the armor. I could do this shit with my eyes closed. The main attraction don't come at me with no side show. I'm selling high, they wanna buy low.
Just like that, baby, we're back. We back. No, we about an hour late, man. I had some things to handle this morning, but hey, man, I couldn't forget my people. So I said, no matter what, we're going to get this show started, baby, even if we are an hour later than we need to be. But we glad to be here. Can't miss the Super Bowl show, man. This is how we going to end 2025. So let's do it the right way, baby. You know, got my boy with me, man. We back in the building. It is the COOKUP. And just a heads up, man, before we get things cracking, I will just say, Rock, I'm going to let the people know. I told you, after today, we're going to take our off season, man. We're going to take us about a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. We're going to regroup, rebrand, refresh, you know, add a little bit more seasoning, figure out these new recipes. And we're going to come into 2026 the right way, baby. So today, we're going to have us a good one, finish out what we got to do. And hey, got something new for y'all coming up, man. Same content. We just going to learn how to different ways to present it. Keep y'all active, keep y'all satisfied. You get tired of season 1, you don't want to see the same episodes in season 2. So that's where we at with it, baby. So without further ado, welcome to the COOKUP. Welcome to the kitchen, baby. Let's get it popping. Rob, what's good with you, big dog?
Fizz, I am doing really, really good right now. I'm excited to break down the 2025 season with you, all capped off with the Super Bowl and a fantastic halftime show, Fizz. So I'm super excited for this show. Maybe we get into some lessons learned from this past season. But yeah, let's holler at the beautiful people and let's get right into this show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I will just say, man, to kind of speak on before we jump into the people, man, I will just say it was that Super Bowl, bro. We're going to talk about it because that's what today's show is. I really want to speak on the Super Bowl, the halftime show. We figure out other conversations. I do have latest news in the NFL, but the Super Bowl is really what I want to key into because it's the last game we're going to see for a long time, you know? So that will be the topic for today, man. So anybody in the chat, man, y'all came here to have a good time. The floor is yours. Please give us your, you know, whatever you feel in the Super Bowl about the season. Any questions? We're going to answer everybody questions today. You leave a question, we're going to answer it before we get up out of here. But I will just say, Rob, for me, I told you this weeks ago, Super Bowl, even the playoffs, I don't know if I'm going to be home for this one. I don't know if I'm going to miss work for this one. And damn it, if I wasn't at work on the Super Bowl, I volunteered to work on the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, my brother wasn't happy with it, man. He wanted me to be home with a good dinner, good party wings, whatever it was, right? I lived through you, my brother. I watched you cook up whatever you cooked up. It looked good. And hey, man, I had some Chipotle in a bowl and I watched on my iPad, all right? So I didn't get a chance to get the full view, but I will just say, Rock, if you was to ever miss a Super Bowl, this probably was the one, bro. I'm going to keep it 100 with you, bro. This Super Bowl lived up to the not excitement that we had coming.
Yes, you do this every damn show, man. You always start off and be like, it wasn't actually that great. It was, I thought, that great, but continue on.
I'm just saying, bro, I'm going to just say this, right? And I'm going to let you correct me if I'm wrong, and then I'll get to the people in the chat. But I'm going to ask you this. That Super Bowl, we talked about this. I kind of try to spice it up. You know, Drake made it holding the weapon. They ready for the, you know, offload once they get to the Super Bowl. Drake made look like this the entire playoffs, right? Against a tough defense.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna give you a would you rather. Now, don't give me a whole long thing. Give me a would you rather. Seattle Seahawks or the Rams in the Super Bowl?
Well,
I'm sorry. Seattle Seahawks and the Rams or Seattle. And so basically every time I give you would you rather versus the Patriots.
The best game of the whole playoffs was the Seattle Seahawks versus the Rams.
So give me the list. Seattle versus the Rams or the Patriots?
The Rams. That was the best game of the whole playoffs outside of the Packers versus the Bears.
Listen, bro. Seattle or the Bears or the Patriots?
The Bears would have probably been more fire for sure. But
Okay.
that's never going to happen though in the Super Bowl unless they realign the conference.
Seattle or the 49ers versus the Patriots. Well, Seattle and versus the 49ers.
Oh my God, the 49ers game was awful. I'd rather see the Patriots than the 49ers.
Okay. All right, so that's your cutting point right there, right? Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I'm gonna give you another team: the Green Bay Packers or Seattle versus or the Patriots.
Probably the Patriots. I think because the Green Bay Packers don't have the defense the Patriots do.
Okay, so basically, you don't like entertainment. So I'm gonna say it my way, right? What I'm trying to say is the NFC is so good this year, bro. It didn't matter who the hell showed up. I don't think it really mattered. The AFC, we talked about this.
We're on the same page for that. We're both
before
on the
the
same
playoffs
page.
started. The AFC wasn't going to be that entertaining. We talked about this with Mike on like week 12, 13, and I think it lived up to like true as to what it was. Like the Patriots being there as a fan watching the game, you can literally say they probably shouldn't have been there at this point. But just looking at what the NFC offer, bro, with the playoff teams alone, they ain't even talking about the teams that missed the playoffs. Think about the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions would have had a better performance than the New England Patriots this week. And they
I don't know about that. They didn't make the playoffs, Fizz.
But I'm saying for entertainment purposes on one Sunday, we ain't talking about throughout the season. You give me one Sunday to pick my own Super Bowl, it wouldn't have had no AFC team outside of Buffalo, the Chiefs, and I'm just saying the Patriots.
You're in imagination land, though. That's not the Super Bowl we'll ever be able to get.
But I'm just making this point to say the Super Bowl that we got didn't deliver the entertainment of a Super Bowl. It just gave us a regular Sunday night in a CBS, NBC game to me. This wasn't a Super Bowl caliber game, bro. That's all I'm trying to say.
It wasn't that much different when we saw last year when the Philadelphia Eagles tore the Patriots a whole new one and sent them back into the Stone Age. What did I say?
Said the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the difference, though. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, right? This is the difference between what the Chiefs and the Eagles did last year versus what the Seahawks and the Patriots did. Yes, the Chiefs got demolished. They got dog walked, right?
That game was over in the first quarter, just like this one was. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you the reason why it was more entertaining, Rob. Because it was Pat Mahomes getting that whooping. So now the villain is people cheering. People are loving it. They are excited. Yes, keep beating Pat.
God. Yeah.
Drake May couldn't have did. If he would have got beat by 50, nobody would have cared. That's the point I'm trying to make. Nobody would have cared if the Patriots lost by 50. If the Chiefs lose by 50, you're going to hear about this story for 100 years. That's what I'm trying to say. The level of competition and the entertainment.
Mr. Voorhees cared. He cared. He was heartbroken last year.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm be honest with you. I don't even think he really was that hurt. I think he realized that they just weren't the better team, and he a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Rob. Pat Mahomes losing the way they lost was entertaining for people that want him to lose. Drake May could have lost by 50, and nobody would have cared. Rock. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Here's, I think, what the real thing that maybe you need to learn from 2025 season.
Oh, wait, break it down, brother.
Also matters too, Fizz. That's the reason why you didn't enjoy the Super Bowl as much. You probably hated the halftime show too. But for me, this whole season, especially the playoffs, was all about defense. They had no other shot in the AFC. Who else are you going to have in the AFC? What are you going to have? CJ Stroud throwing 4 picks. You're going to have Jarrett Stidham trying to, scramble for his life. There was nothing on the AFC side. Mike, he spun us a story earlier on in the season whenever he came on the show. It sounded very compelling at the moment. You and me were kind of reserved about the AFC side being stronger than the NFC side. It played out exactly the way that we thought it would be. But this whole season, especially the playoffs, in the last 2 years, Fizz, people need to get on board with that. Defense. You can win with a Sam Darnold. You can win with some type of quarterback that's been 5 different teams on 5 different years, Fizz. And you can win a Super Bowl with a less than stellar caliber quarterback if you have one of the best defenses we've ever seen. I'm going to break that down later on in the show, Fizz. But I think that's probably the reason why you didn't really like this game that much, because it was all about the defensive side of the ball. Being able to completely annihilate, erase an MVP caliber quarterback, Fizz. And that was probably one of the most interesting things that I enjoyed from this past Sunday. Yes, yes. It was only AJ Barner that scored a touchdown. It at least was better than when the Rams played the Patriots. What was that, like in 2017, 2018, Fizz? So it is better than that, but was it all the touchdowns and points and all that? I mean, it was the Kenneth Walker show. That was another reason why I enjoyed this Super Bowl as well. So if you're like me, if you like defensive side of the ball, if you like the running game, and if you like Bad Bunny, I got everything I needed, Fizz. So all you had was your Chipotle, and you were probably freezing your ass off at work. So don't bring the whole rest of the show down because you didn't have the best of time. I had wings, I had ribs, and I had buffalo chicken dip. Maybe we can now holler at the people. So
I'm with you. I got one rebuttal though, bro, and because I'm hot at my boy E said it best. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championship. What you're saying, you're 100% right, Rock. But you're coming from the team perspective. I'm coming from the fan perspective that if I'm home throwing a party, we want to be entertained, right? And I think Gov said this perfectly. The Legion of Boom, Ray Lewis type defense, that was fun to watch. This new defense in today's game where you can't even touch the quarterback, I don't want to see it no more. I need some high flying, high scoring. Now I'm not going.
They beat the shit out of them.
I'm
They
just
were
about to say,
able to
I'm
touch the
not going to
QB.
act like Seattle didn't put pause on them boys because they did, right? I will say that.
They had him crying at the end of the game, Fizz.
They did. But this is what I'm telling you, Rock. If you're a fan of this game and you're not a super fan like us, you looked at Drake May and felt bad. You probably said, man, he don't even belong in this game. That's the point I'm making. If he was going,
how good that defense was.
If this defense was going against Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, the fans would have loved it because they would have thought, all right, these guys have the caliber to dig themselves out of this hole. Drake May was a player you felt bad for at some point. It was just like, please turn it off, man. Just stop beating this dude up so much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying the level of intensity in the game isn't as high as it used to be. So I need, like, they bent the rules for offenses to score. That's why they changed all these rules. So give me some damn points. That's all I'm saying, Rob.
No, see, you only just like offense. That's what it was. I love defense.
But all right. So I'm just saying it was a good game, but it wasn't Super Bowl caliber, right? I even heard the people. I follow a couple of celebrities. They even said the city of San Fran was boring as hell. They said, bro, this whole Super Bowl experience was whack. It was just, it wasn't like the flashy lights. Like LA next year. First of all, we'll get to the Super Bowl next year is in LA and it's on Valentine's Day, so it's about to be. It's booming, you feel me? But this year just felt like a Seattle versus the Patriots Super Bowl. That's exactly what it felt like. Two teams that don't nobody even care about. We good. Let's just have them play.
Blame it on the power plant then. Maybe that's what sucked all the energy out of it.
There we go. See, now you with it. Okay. No one man should have all this power. In the words of my boy Ye, you feel me? So I'm just saying, man. But regardless, Rock, I'm glad you're here, my brother. We're going to get at y'all in the chat. I see we got some comments. I'm actually glad we started off this way because y'all look like y'all entertaining as well. Y'all getting entertained as well. So without further ado, Rock, let's holler these people. Turn a little bit of music on right quick. Yeah. You know we back, baby. I got to get my mind right. Jake was up in here, man. You know, we like to check in and check out. But we at least glad he gave us that. We appreciate you, big dog. Hey, pre-game crew, man. We appreciate you. Make sure you just stay game crew. Right? We need you to stay around a little bit, Jake. But I know you're probably busy, man. It's all good. My boy Big E in the building. Pops up in here, man. He said the Patriots are who we thought they were. Hey, Pops, man. I tried to convince myself the Patriots way was the way, but it looks like that was not the case. All right. So it's all good though, man. It's all good. My boy Jordan Jack in the building. What's good, big dog? How you feeling? Gov up in here too, baby. We know that. Mr. Voorhees is in the building. My boy Patty Mills up in here too, man. He said put some respect on Sam Darnold's name. Hey, I think it's time, Rob. It's time for your offseason quarterback to get a little bit of respect, man, because you definitely gave us the knowledge to say Sam ain't done yet, baby. So only thing I hate about this though, Rock, I gotta hear all offseason how Sam Darnold got a ring before Dak Prescott. I'm gonna keep hearing this garbage. You know they hate the Cowboys, so they're going to find the reason. Even though he got a ring over a whole bunch of other quarterbacks, Dak Prescott is gonna be the one they bring up. So sorry, I gotta keep hearing this garbage. It's all good. All 22, my boy Dustin is also in the building, baby. And hey, we're gonna finish it like that, man. So without further ado, Rob, let me know something. How you feeling? Super Bowl. I kind of broke down my perspective of this game. What's your thoughts on this game overall? And we'll get to the halftime show and the ending. But just first thoughts of the game as a whole in the package.
I mean, as a whole, just being able to immediately try to conjure up what my thoughts were on where this defense ranks compared to all other defenses that we've seen over the last 25 years. Because that was what we saw. We saw just it was actually, I think, two of the best defenses in the entire league this past year. Because the Patriots, I mean, they held Sam Darnold. It wasn't Drake May that just had the worst game of his entire season. Sam Darnold also had the worst game of his entire season in this game as well. But it was the Kenneth Walker show that ended up separating and giving them that chance so that Jason Myers can kick all those damn field goals. My guy, AJ Barner, being able to get that acrobatic touchdown to really try to separate them. But overall, my feeling was, man, this is going to be kind of a brutal game, Fizz. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be defense versus defense. I did feel bad for both of these QBs. The entire time I was yelling and screaming at Sam Darnold and Drake, man, I'm like, get rid of the ball. Come on.
And then he got rid of the ball. That JSN was 10 yards behind. You know, he didn't. That would have sealed the game at that moment. Like that was a bad missed throw. But go ahead, continue. My bad, brother.
So right before the game started, one of my buds that was over, he was just like, all right, I have $100 to burn. What should I bet it on? I'm like, Kenneth Walker, first touchdown of the game. So for the first 3 quarters, when he was popping off those runs, we were getting excited in my apartment. We were just like, yeah, go, go, go. And it's just like I think he tied. There's only been 2 other RBs in the Super Bowl to have as many 25-yard runs. Mm-hmm. I think he joined like this elite class of like RBs in the Super Bowl game. So that was also awesome, really, to be able to watch him go off. What it looks like when he has the whole backfield to himself. I went back and forth about the fact that, like, all right, Zach Charbonnet in fantasy football, he is kind of a nuisance. But if it wasn't for Zach Charbonnet splitting those touches and Kenneth Walker, all the injuries he's had throughout his career, he probably wouldn't have been as fresh.
That's the same thing I was
for
thinking,
this game.
And I'm not comparing him to this guy, but I tell people this all the time, and I don't mean to cut you off. Anthony Davis, the NBA player, we all know he's Mr. Glass. We all know this. Mm-hmm. But during that lockout, not the COVID season, when they had to play in the bubble, they had to sit out for like 2 or 3 months. The Lakers won a championship in the bubble. If Anthony Davis had to play 82 games, he wouldn't have made that championship. That 2-month reset blessed them with a championship run. And I'm going to say the same thing about Kenneth Walker. I said this to myself before we got to this conversation. Zach Charbonnet really saved the longevity of him. Like, we didn't like it as fantasy players, but he actually helped him. And I believe, Rod, to be honest, the coaches knew that. The coaches ain't listening to no fans. Man, we want Ken Walker. Yeah, whatever. Zach Charbonnet, please keep filling in. We're going to let Ken Walker rest up for this Super Bowl run we on, baby. So good call.
So I'm super happy that he won the Super Bowl MVP. I think it was well deserved outside of just giving it to the whole defensive unit for the Seahawks. You know, that's too many damn trophies to be able to give out, Fizz. But I'm glad that the rest of America knows what I've known ever since he's come out of college, that he is one of the most dangerous elite running backs in the league. And we saw that against that defense. I mean, the New England Patriots is one of the best defenses. They're very, very similar to the Seahawks in that they have 2 amazing nose tackles. You can't run up the middle. And that was one of the things that we broke down last week. If there was going to be any success on the running game, it was going to be Kenneth Walker to the outside. And they tried to do that with Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. They couldn't get anything going. They had the New England Patriots had 42 yards rushing on 13 attempts and only 1 first down through the first 3 quarters, Fizz. So the Patriots, they couldn't shut down the run compared to what the Seahawks were able to do. Here's some other crazy stats before I forget, because I'm just going to get lost in the sauce. The Seahawks held the Patriots scoreless until the 4th quarter. They had 3 turnovers. They sacked Drake May 6 times. They held the Patriots to 78 yards. That's the fewest in the Super Bowl since 2000, Fizz, through the first 3 quarters. The Seahawks had 161 yards at halftime with Kenneth Walker, and they had total of 335 yards with on the offense. So Kenneth Walker basically had like half the offense.
Yeah.
He's the first running back to win MVP since when, you think? Who was the last RB to win MVP in the Super Bowl?
I'm so mad. I should have known this. I should have known you. Well, I say this. Marshawn Lynch should have won it. That's a fact. They didn't want him to win. That's why they threw the ball. Damn, Rock. I should have known this. I knew you was going to ask me something like this. I know they said it's been like 20 years, right? Something like that.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
1997.
Davis, out in Denver.
Terrell Davis, that's right.
Terrell Davis, yeah.
See, you always second guess yourself.
Well, once you put the 90, because I remember, I remember that, Rock? The NFL game day. That was when the Packers versus the Denver Broncos. I remember that game like it's the back of my hand. So, yeah, Terrell Davis, I remember that.
And then I want to end it with some of these other crazy stats, because I know the only other side of the ball that you love more than defense is special teams, Fizz. Mm-hmm. Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, 5 field goals.
That was
Here's the other thing. Thank God they didn't give it to him, because his longest field goal was like 40 yards.
Yeah, it was bad.
If you hit like 3 50-yarders, including a game winner, then give it to him if he has like a vintage type of game. The real MVP, Fizz, on special teams was Michael Dixon. He had 7 punts, and 2 of the punts were down inside the 5-yard line, Fizz.
Yeah. They was hitting on all cylinders. They didn't need a Sam Darnold type game. Like, he could skate by in this game, unfortunately. But I mean, fortunately,
The 15 punts tied for the second most in the Super Bowl this century, Fizz. So I think the only other worst one was the Rams and the Patriots. That was the only other one that had more punts. So that's probably the reason why you really hated this game, Fizz. You hate all the 15 punts and the 5 field goals and all that shit.
I mean, I don't hate the game, bro. Just like I said, for it to be the Super Bowl, it just didn't give me that let's end the game. It reminded me of those series when we watch them, and in that last episode, you're like, man, I mean, y'all owe us another episode. That's what this felt like, to keep it honest with you. But,
what did you think about the coaching? Because we were talking about before last week, we did both pick Mike McDonald, but what did you think of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniel getting the head coach and assistant coach of the year? Yeah. It's just like, does he not get any credit for having the MVP-like season? It's just like, it's all the coaches, because the coaches ultimately, I think, are the reason why they lost this game. They just did a lot of things that did not really make a lot of sense. Or do you think that regardless of the coaching, let's say if McVay and Ben Johnson was the head coach and OC for the Patriots, don't you think they would have made it a lot closer game than what Vrabel and Josh McDaniels was able to do for me? Because I feel like they did not put him in a position to succeed. They only had him scramble like 2 or 3 times, Fizz. Yeah. That was it. Like, in the running game, couldn't get going whatsoever. Every time they threw out Travion Henderson, it looked like he was a rookie out there. I felt really bad for him. They could not throw any balls outside of that one to Mike Hollins towards the end of the game. But I feel like they didn't know what to do against this defense.
But I'm going to be honest. Mike Vrabel, being a defensive guy, he looked like he was letting his OC do his job. He didn't want to, like, hey, do something. Like, he kind of just let him do his thing. But he looked very disappointed. If you look at Mike Vrabel, bro, he kept getting down, head on it. He tried to look like the guy that tried to be the calmest in the room, even though he wasn't. Because he didn't fuss at nobody. He didn't grab nobody by the collar. And I don't know if you saw this part during the game. I heard him listening saying, this will be the first game in history where there's no penalty in the first half or something, and they end up getting like a false start like 2 minutes into the first half. So it really was no reason for Vrabel to really flip out on nobody. Like, nobody was missing assignments. Nobody was, out of place. It's just the offense wasn't working. And
the defense did their job too.
I was just about to say,
Patriots defense was awesome.
That's what I was just about to say. He had all right to pull McDaniel to the side and say, hey, man, figure it out. I think they panicked, and I think McDaniel looked at Drake and said, he's not ready, and I'm not ready to get him through this process. Like, I think Drake made.
I think he's just ducking away towards the half. It's just
exactly. I think honestly they needed Kirk Cousins veteran type presence for them trenches. Drake May wasn't built. He's not mentally built yet for them trenches, bro. I'm gonna say this: the run game wasn't working. You just said it, right? Drake May led them in rushing yards. But my thing is, throw the ball downfield. You had the one play with Mac Hollins. At this point, we not doing nothing. Just move the ball. Let's throw it, man. We hike the ball, figure out some different plays.
I feel like that's where they went wrong, Fizz. Is that all they were doing was trying to get huge chunk plays and trying to win the whole game on each pass instead of trying to take any of these checkdowns. I mean, Hunter Henry, like he could have been much more of a factor. They could have had far more checkdowns. They were taking away all those deep passes.
I mean, even Diggs is an underneath receiver. They didn't use him. He had 3 receptions for like 5 yards. And Rock, I don't know if you know this, but this is to prove your point. Drake made through for 43 attempts. So clearly he was throwing the ball. But do you know he set a record in the fourth quarter for passing yards? He threw for 235 yards in 1 quarter. He finished with 295. So the whole game, he threw for 60 yards. And in the fourth quarter, he threw for 235. So that lets you know, man, that whole first half, they were confused. They didn't know what to do or how to do it.
I mean, I think that's another thing that, like, even though you were good enough to beat every team in the AFC, between the Broncos, between the Texans, it's just like all that ultimately matters. Are you able to beat the very best team in the league, though? So, like, the Rams, they're the only team that won. I think that's why the Rams were so heartbroken, because they knew they had a championship caliber team that if they would have played the Patriots, they would have rolled their asses the same way the Seahawks would have.
I guarantee they were sitting at home watching this game like, oh my God, wow.
We could have won it.
You're right.
Exactly.
Again, bro, every team on the NFC side, I think, would have won against this Patriots team. I'm telling you, every NFC playoff team would have beat this team, bro. I'm telling you that now.
Is the leading receiver for the Seahawks was your guy, Cooper Kupp. 6 catches for 61 yards. You know how many yards that JSN finished with? I know he was hurt for half the game, but you know.
Oh, you ain't got to tell me I lost all my parlays because this fool couldn't do nothing. Trust me, he pissed me off. I want to say it's probably under 50, right?
27 yards.
27. Oh my goodness. Well, I know he wasn't over 50 because I had him before the overs on the 50.
Yeah, I mean, he had at one point like 2 catches for 20 yards going into like a halftime. But yeah, he did miss like a decent chunk of the game. But yeah, I was just super impressed with. Can you imagine if they didn't have Kenneth Walker? It would have been anyone's game at that point. Then. It would have been only the Seahawks defense scoring just basically off of turnovers. But yeah, I mean, I think going into this game, I mean, the New England Patriots, I want to give them huge kudos because I still think that Mike Vrabel was very much deserving of being the head coach of the year. If it wasn't going to be him, it should have been McDonald, or Kyle Shanahan doesn't get enough credit either for what he was able to do this season. But to be able to turn this team around after going from just 4 wins to then 14-3, I think that's massive. Maybe instead of spending like hundreds of millions of dollars in the defense, maybe you could have traded for someone that's better than freaking Stephon Diggs or Mac Hollins. It's just like Demario Douglas he was the only one that was able to get open against the Seahawks. So I
think you called it, bro. The lack of Travion Henderson. They would not use this guy at all. They don't care to use him. They haven't figured out a way to use him. I think I know Ramondre Stevenson, the Rhino, is, he's a seasoned vet. I mean, they both Stevenson had 7 rushes. Henderson had 6. But you got to get the young guy some juice, man. You got to get him active. You got to get him ready, man, and get his reps in. Because mentally, he maybe could have carried them and gave them a little bit more life than Ramondre Stevenson, who was 29 years old and pushing probably the end of his career.
So I did find out something very, very interesting. You know how we've been just screaming from the rafters, get more Henderson involved in this whole playoff run and throughout most of the season?
Yeah.
What was the number one thing that coaches really liked about Travion Henderson out of this draft class? What was one of the best things he did in college? Blocking. It was pass blocking, right?
Yeah.
Biz, where do you think he ranks in pass blocking this season in the NFL?
Clearly is good because you wouldn't ask me. So I'm going to say top 5, top 10 in his position, I'm going to say.
Biz, he gives up a league worst 40% pressure rate. That is like, it's not just the bottom of the barrel. It is so far past the next closest guy.
Damn. Well, that's why he ain't on the field. Because if he was top 5, he'd be on the field. So I'm tripping. You're right. You're right.
So we thought
Hey,
that
look,
there was a vendetta.
the D lineman built a little more different than he was in college. You feel me?
We thought there was a vendetta against Travion Henderson. He literally is the worst liability when it comes to pass blocking at the RB position. How do you go from being one of the best in college, Fizz, to being the worst in the NFL? That doesn't make any sense to me, but apparently that's the case. So if he would have been out there,
them schemes in college are different. You know, a lot of the ball moves faster in college, so you can move around a little bit. And that NFL, man, I don't know if you know this, Rob, but Drake is now the most sacked quarterback in any postseason ever with 20 this postseason. So he got a record set for the most sacks being hit that many times in one postseason. And like you just brought up, Henderson can't block, so clearly they got him out of there because probably one of them games he gave up a couple of big hits.
So what do you think at the tippy top of priorities for the New England Patriots for next season? What's their New Year's resolution? Because I think it's very easily, for me, what I want to hear from you.
Number one receiver.
That's what I was about 100%. To say. It
whether
has
it's
to be
draft,
receiver.
Whether it's trading. I mean, I know AJ Brown is a big conversation. I don't think George Pickens is out there, but I just don't think, that's going to actually happen.
Mike Vrabel's on the phone. He's like, I never wanted to trade you when I was in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's true, though. I think if you look at, especially now, I know AJ Brown. I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles going to move on from AJ Brown. But
it would take a lot. It would take a lot to be able to get him.
We, as fans, we can have a conversation. I just say this. If it was a team, I'm hearing, the Green Bay Packers still looking, which I don't know why. I'm hearing, the Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, right? But I think the Patriots, to me, looking at them go to a Super Bowl already, if I'm AJ Brown, a lot of teams that probably would have my number, that ain't a bad spot knowing that they just went to the Super Bowl. And now they look like because I remember I tried to call out last week that I don't know if they top 4 or top 5. And when you peel back the layers, I don't know how they not. You know what I'm saying? So I got to put a little bit more respect on the Patriots and what they can actually do if they added an AJ Brown or one of those top tier guys. So, yeah, I think it's receiver number one for this offseason. They got to find a go-to guy like that. They have enough of the Pop Douglases and these type of guys. They got to get an alpha in that building.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It would be pretty awesome if AJ Brown went to a team like that. And yeah, I think that is definitely at the top of their priority list. Fizz, is there anything else that you want to break down about this game? Do you want to talk more about the Seahawks defense, what Schneider was able to do, being able to take two teams with two different QBs, not a single player returning from the roster when he won the Super Bowl, to completely revamping it. That's a lot of the things that I've been researching and looking at is just how he was able to build this team. He traded away Russell Wilson when the previous year he was unanimously ranked the most important player in the sport at the time, a cornerstone piece. He traded his ass for a hole. And in one draft class, he was able to get JSN and Devin Witherspoon. Those are two arguably the most important players that he had this past season. Completely revamped the defense, but then getting Mike McDonald, the first coach to ever win a Super Bowl while also calling the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. Huge kudos to him. Where do you think he ranks now? If you're going to name your top coaches, the best of the best, I know we're going to name Sean McVay. Where do you think he ranks in that echelon?
It's funny that we brought this up, Rob, because I spoke with my boy Voorhees yesterday. We was talking, and I'm not saying this because he won a Super Bowl, but I think McDonald is just one of the dopest, coolest coaches, bro. He looked like one of those, the ones that I always say, players coach and this and that. He looks so cool and calm. Anybody could talk to him. Like, he ain't over, doing too much. He ain't yelling. He just seemed like the coolest man on the field at times. So right now, bro, I'm gonna be honest. Like even Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh lost his job. He has to be moved back. He's up there where the Harbaugh was before he got, lost his job. Like, when we talk about the Andy Reids and the Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahans, I'm gonna be honest, bro. This guy is the number one team in the league. He's won a Super Bowl. He calls his own defensive plays, and he has the best defense on paper in this league. So I don't know how he out of the top 4 at the least. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna put him up there, bro. You know, I like those savvy guys that I like to look at on paper. I'm gonna say top 3. I'm gonna call him top 3, bro. He got to be top 3.
Okay. Are you putting him number 1, or are you just putting him in the same tier?
Yeah, tiers. Because I think if Sean McVay would have found a way to get that last playoff and win that game, it would have been the same conversation. So I'm gonna put him in a tier with my guy McVay, because I just don't think. I think if these two teams, the Rams and the Seahawks, had 18 games that had to play each other, or 17, they can only play each other. It might be
9-9. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give him that all the way right now, but it's the same tier. This is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes comparison when we're talking tiers of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in that tier. I'm going to put Shanahan in that tier to round out the top 3, because I just think that whatever he does, even with all the injuries that he had, he was still able to take his team to the playoffs. And then I think I want to see one more year from Ben Johnson before I put him in that elite top tier.
He's on the way.
So let's
see. I
see.
say this though, Rod. The thing I will say though is, unfortunately for him, he won't win the Coach of the Year, because now he's already established that he's too good. Like Sean McVay won't win one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys.
This was the year.
This was the year. So now, unfortunately for him, he will never win a Coach of the Year, because they've already established you're too good. So we got to give it to somebody that's coming up versus the guy that's already there.
I mean, it is always, I don't know what these voting criteria are, Fizz. That was a big thing that we were talking about with Bill Belichick. I don't know how people figure out the Hall of Fame or any of these awards. But if Bill Belichick can win it 3 different times, maybe there is a chance that Ben Johnson can win it later on. And it's not always just if you know what you were able to do in your first year. So, but yeah, there's lots of great coaches. I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned from this season, Fizz, is that we need to talk a lot more about these coaches and not just about the players and their college profiles.
The system, bro. I mean, I talk about this all the time, man. It's about the situation, man. You can be the best player, and think about how many Heisman guys sit on those chairs, get their name called or don't, but they're top 4 in college football, and they get drafted to a team and end up being a bust. That happens so many times, and it's because of situation. If you get drafted to a top 3 team, chances are that top 3 team is trash. That's the reason why they're drafting you. So we have Mendoza coming up, going to a team, and also offensive coordinator is going to the Vegas Raiders. And I know you said, Rob, you didn't know who to talk about for the voting of these leagues, and you know who to call. Clearly, you should have called Shiddles, man. He said Drake May called him, and he didn't answer the phone. So clearly, you need to call him about the MVP voting. But
what do you think of your pops saying the league was hyping Drake May like he was all that? Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think that he is deserving of being one of the best players in the league, or do you think that he is overhyped?
Well, I say this. Pops is a Jaden Daniels fan too, so some of that is a little biased, I will say. I'm pretty sure. But I mean, Jaden Daniels got the same praise. He just didn't make the Super Bowl, right? Jaden Daniels got the same praise Drake May is making. The only difference is Drake May went to the Super Bowl, and Jaden Daniels had a bad season the following year. So I think they're on the same trajectory as far as the hype of what they both got. They both came from a team where they were terrible the year before they drafted. They came in as rookies. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same story. The only difference is Jaden Daniels took a step back, so he has to take a step forward. Drake May is already at the top. Now he has to work on getting to the actual top of the spot. So if Drake May has a year like Jaden Daniels had this year, whether it's injuries or whatever, then I think it's time to lower down the hype. But right now, man, Drake May is going into next season, especially for us in fantasy, top 4 guy, top 3, top 5. So I'm not going to say it's hype, man. I'm going to just say he's in a perfect situation. Like we just said, situations matter. Drake May is in the right situation.
Okay, I got one more question before we move on to this next segment I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you think that Drake May and the Patriots make it back to the Super Bowl?
No. I think this was their year.
See, a lot of people think, oh, he's so young, and Mike Vrabel, this is his first year with the Patriots. Guys, he's in a conference with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and then there's another cast of characters too that are coming up. You got your Bo Nixes,
Yeah, but
And
think about if Bo Nix would have played for the Denver Broncos, the Patriots might not even been there. They might not have made it. You know what I'm saying? So
not if you're only going to get like 70 yards, or what is it? He finished like with 84 yards passing in that game against the Broncos.
He had like 60 something rushing. So I think this was their year. Now, granted, anything can happen because this year nobody picked them to make the Super Bowl. So, right, it can happen. But I think when you get those years, Rock, where Pat Mahomes gets injured, Lamar Jackson has a bad season, Josh Allen is banged up, this is our year to make it. Like that's why I think Josh Allen took it so hard when they didn't make it, because it's like, damn it, man, I ain't had no Pat in my way, I ain't had Lamar in my way. Now I might have these guys at full health next year. I got to go through this mess all over again.
He's been trying for 8 years still. 8 years.
So finally, you get those guys out the way and you don't make it. I think that was, if you think Josh Allen not going to come back in this year after losing his coach, losing Pat Mahomes, after losing, getting injured, having a bad season, you got top dog MVP caliber guys getting Eric Bieniemy, right? All these other teams are getting.
I was about to say Patrick Mahomes is addition by subtraction with Nagy out of the way.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So the road, that 500 and less winning schedule that they had, it might work out for the regular season. But come playoff time next year, man, it's going to be tough for them Patriots to sniff a playoff victory, let alone a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of that same sentiment too. I mean, everyone was saying the same thing about Joe Burrow. He hasn't been back to the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
It's tough.
And they weren't supposed to make it that year anyway. Let's keep it real, but, you know.
Yeah. All right. I want to really talk about old-time defenses, Fizz. Can you name me some of the best defenses that you can remember over the last 25 years?
25 years. Okay. I think Seattle had a couple of them, right? Seattle had this year, they had the Legion of Boom, and that was lasting for like 2 years, right? Legion of Boom was at least 2 to 3 years.
So I have both the 2025 Seahawks and the 2013 Seahawks.
Okay.
Name me a couple other ones.
The Denver Broncos this year, they were one of the best in the whole entire league.
So I have the 2015 Broncos for when they played the Panthers.
Von Miller and them. I got you. I want to say the Chiefs too. One of the Chiefs that year they went to the Super Bowl. One they wanted the top one. You going off number one overalls, or
I'm talking about the best of all time, like the last 25 years. Fizz. Okay. So I got two more. I got 2002 Buccaneers.
Okay. Yep. Derek Brooks and them. Yep.
And you should have said this the very first one. You should have said the 2000 Ravens. That's the best defense of all time.
Well, you said 25. You had to go back, brother. You got to give me time. I was stepping down.
I'm sorry.
Coming from the top to the bottom, baby. But go ahead. I ain't mad at you. I know you 52-20. You know, you Ray Lewis and them. I ain't mad at you.
I didn't go back all the way to the 85.
Yeah, you ain't going to 85, brother. You giving us your age, big dog. You wearing your afro back then, man. We ain't talking about that, all right?
Okay, so, and then I also have on here, just to compare it, because the last 2 years we've seen defense win Super Bowls. So I also have on here the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles fit.
I was there. I was going to say that year. Yep.
So I have just two stats. There's lots of other ones out there. You can go off sacks, turnovers, defensive EPA. I only went off 2. Points per game allowed and yards per game allowed. So, and this includes the entire playoffs too. It's not just the regular season. So it's the entire playoff run. So comparing it to the Philadelphia Eagles last year, where do you think the Seahawks are? Do you think they're better or do you think they're worse?
This year, I want to say they're better.
So in 2025, this season, the Seahawks had 16.9 points per game allowed throughout the entire season, including the Super Bowl, all the way through that. The Philadelphia Eagles, 18.1. So the Seahawks were better when it came to points allowed. What about...
not to cut you off, bro. The Seattle Seahawks had to play the Rams twice, the 49ers twice. Like, this wasn't no cakewalk, route to get there. So I just want to put that out there too, man. They in the toughest division in football right now, and they did that. So shout out to them.
And that was what the difference was when it came to yards, Fizz. So the Seahawks, 295.3 yards allowed per game, 288.6 for the Eagles.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
So I think they're pretty close to one another. But with that more than point difference when it comes to the points per game, I'm going to give the Seahawks a little bit of an edge as far as what they were able to do in this season. All right, now when we look at the 2015 Broncos, what do you think? Better or worse? This Seahawks team,
bro. That Broncos team was deadly, bro. Von Miller and them peoples was killing. They won the Super Bowl because Peyton Manning was garbage that year. That defense did everything. I'm gonna say the Broncos, bro, because Peyton Manning was trash that year.
That was another stat that I saw. Fizz, do you know that Drake May had the worst EPA for any QB that's gone to the Super Bowl in the last 25 years? Do you know who's second worst
Peyton Manning, I'm sure.
Peyton Manning.
Bro, he was horrible that year. I remember, trust me. I think I had him in fantasy that year, bro. It was bad, man. Peyton was the worst Peyton. He's not even a Peyton brother after that season, bro. It was bad.
I mean, he also did have like a engineered neck and shit like that. So he had a whole bunch of stem cells and whatever.
I'm gonna say the Broncos was better.
Fizz, when it comes to points per game, this Seahawks team was actually better. The Broncos 17.9 versus the Seahawks 16.9. And they're almost dead even when it comes to yards. Broncos 293.5, Seahawks 295.3. So very, very close. All right, now this is when we get into, I think, a whole other tier, Fizz. Because if I had to say the Seahawks and the Broncos are in a tier, but they're below this really elite tier. So let's go to the Legion of Boom. What do you think the points per game and the yards allowed was?
See, when you're talking points per game, this is the difference between, because the Legion of Boom is it's the D-backs. So a lot of yards, and you know what I'm saying? Like the up front was the victory for this defense. The back end was that whole defense was elite. They had a lot of
the whole defense was elite.
Right.
Because I'm about to bring up, because you're actually bringing up a really good point. I'm going to bring up their roster.
Yeah, bro.
It's really, really good.
They call it Legion of Boom. Like this is the defensive backs. I forgot about what's the
Here, I want to name their team real quick.
The Bennett brothers. I forgot the names. Man.
So you have Cliff Averill. Yeah. You have Michael Bennett. Yeah, you have Clint McDonald.
Yeah.
Chris Clements. KJ Wright. Bobby Wagner. Richard Sherman. Byron Maxwell. Walter Thurman. And then you got these safeties and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor.
Sheesh. Rock, you got my blood flowing, man. Listen,
exactly.
That was, bro. Just imagine IDP leagues back then. I don't know if I played them then, but KJ Wright was my dog, man. Bobby Wagner was just in the way, and Bobby's a dog. But I'm saying KJ Wright could have literally laid their defense as well. I'm going to give it to that team because that team is crazy. Just hearing them names is crazy, bro. I got to give it to that.
14.3 points allowed, Fizz.
Yeah, that's tough.
284.3 yards per game.
That's tough.
But it's going to get better. Let's go to the Buccaneers.
I know you're saving the best for last. I know how you roll. I know how you operate. Hyping your dogs up, but they was bad. Go ahead. Hook it up.
So this is a defense that was led by Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, two of the best to ever play at their positions, Fizz. 12.3 points per game during that 2001-2002 season. 255.3 yards per game, Fizz. That's like 40 yards difference per game.
Hold on, Rob. What year was that again?
2002 Buccaneers.
I want to see something because I want to see what the division looked like. Because I want to say, the NFC South is always trash, bro. Looking at this season, right? Because I think that's the differential too when you're looking at the teams that they play twice a year. And
I knew someone was going to bring that up. I wanted to bring up all the Hall of Famers that these guys had to play up against, though.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to. When I think of the NFC South currently, you always think bad. Looking at the NFC at that point, Atlanta was 9-6-1, New Orleans was 9-7, Carolina was 7-9.
Like the same what is today. So they're all within a game.
Exactly. But it's just
changed.
The rosters, back then you had Matt Ryan, you had the Julio Jones, you had Drew Brees was in New Orleans at that time, right?
You need to go up against Rich Gannon and like Jerry Rice, though. I mean, on the other side of the ball against the Raiders.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that defense didn't go up against a bunch of scrubs, because I'm saying the points per game could change. if that defense went up against the NFC South currently, man, they by 10 points they'd be giving up, bro. So that's what I'm trying to say. I wanted to make sure that the division that they played 6 games out of wasn't just horrible. You know what I'm saying? That was it. But a hell of a defense, though. Hell of a defense.
I think one of the top 3 or 4 defenses of all time. It's 2002 Buccaneers.
Derrick Brooks, dog.
But here's the number 1 defense of all time.
Look,
Fizz.
T-Rock 50-20. Let them know what it's for, brother. They break it down.
It's for Ray Lewis. Ed Reed hadn't come yet, but he's going to get his own Super Bowl maybe about 13 years later. 2000 Ravens, Fizz. What do you think they gave up when it came to points and yards? And
okay,
they're
so right
in a
now,
whole
10 point something is the lowest right now, right?
12.3 right now for the Buccaneers.
Okay. It can't be no lower than 10, bro. I'm gonna go 10. It can't. If somebody lower average less than double digits, that's crazy work. I'm gonna say 10, bro. I'm gonna give them double digits.
Fizz, I'm pretty sure they're the only defense to allow less than 10 points per game. They allowed 9.4 points per game and 240 yards, 0.2 yards per game.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're the best defense of all time. Like them, and it's the Bears, and that's pretty much it. And you just ask the Giants if they faced in the Super Bowl. It didn't get anything on them.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably two of the worst quarterbacks going against each other as well, though. That wasn't. I forget who was their quarterback.
Was it Kerry Collins and Trent Dilfer?
Yeah, bro. It was bad.
They showed that list of the worst QBs to ever make a Super Bowl. What their EPA was. Trent Dilfer and Kerry Collins were right next to each other.
The same game. That's what made it even worse. So yeah, that was bad. Damn, Rock. Yeah, that's a good pull, brother. That was a good game right there.
So this Seahawks,
it's good to see where the Seahawks defense stacks against though. That's why I like that though. It's the generational defense, bro.
Yeah. So I don't think they're in that elite of elite. I don't think they're top 3 to 6, but I think they're right outside of that, Fizz. I think they're definitely this defense that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
Top 10 all time. Now the question is, with how much money they have and a couple of key free agents like Tariq Woolen, do you think that they are able to maintain this bedrock defense to lead into another Super Bowl last year? Because we thought the same thing from the Philadelphia Eagles. That didn't end up happening because the offense completely went to shit. We know now that their OC, Kubiak, is going to be the next head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
So without that offense now being led by one of the best OCs this past season, that was going to be the thing when Kellen Moore left. The offense took such a huge step back, Fizz. So do you think that this Seahawks defense, their defense is good enough? They're going to be able to weather that storm, or do you think they're going to have the same trajectory as the Eagles? They're not going to do as good next year.
I'm going to be honest, bro. One, it's hard to go back to Super Bowl. So I wouldn't project them as a Super Bowl. I can't tell you who I would pick. Probably be the Rams. Yeah. But I just keep it 100 with you.
Be the Rams for me, too.
The problem with the Philadelphia Eagles isn't the coaching or the schemes all the time. I mean, not the coach. It isn't the roster and the scheme. Sometimes it's the leader. And we all know their head coach is a guy that half the world cannot stand. I just spoke about how McDonald is one of my favorite coaches in the league. I think with whoever leaving around him, he can keep the ship afloat by just being who he is and reminding everybody, hey, man, we're going to have pieces come and go, but the main piece is still here. So I think as long as they got McDonald, bro, they at least going to compete NFC Championship, that type of thing for a couple of years, man, to be honest with you. So keep the head coach, you good to go. I mean, look at Sean McVay. He loses the offensive coordinators every 5 months. Like literally, they leave in the middle of the season and they still competing every single year.
Can you bring up Patty Mills' comment? I can agree that Sirianni is the problem, but why is it Hurts? Hurts is not the problem. Right. Why do people keep saying that he is the problem? He's not. Why it's
Hurts? Because Hurts don't speak out about not being the problem. He allows people.
What do you want him to do? Be like Tua? Jesus.
Yeah, but no. I'm just saying. When you got a guy like Hurts who's on the Philadelphia Eagles, I say the same thing about Dak Prescott. If Dak played for the Seattle Seahawks, nobody would care about what Dak Prescott is doing. He's with the Dallas Cowboys. Jalen Hurts is with the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that everybody hates unless you're already on that team or you like that team. So now we gonna find a way to pick and blame him because he plays for the Eagles. If Jalen Hurts played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro, nobody would be talking about him. And I'm not saying Patty is by itself. I'm just saying, to me, Jalen Hurts is a problem to the people because he's on the Philadelphia Eagles, 1, and 2, he doesn't force you to change the narrative that I'm really not the problem. Like, he lets you believe what you want to believe. He just go clocking and do work. So I'm a Hurts fan, baby. That's all I'm telling you. Love Hurts. So we gonna love Hurts over here. All right.
I am too. And I mean, he ranked this when we went through our QB series.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Hurts, it was Drake May, it was Matthew Stafford. Those were the top 3 QBs from my personal process that I look at. And this is for fantasy football, but a lot of it translates to the NFL game. So Jalen Hurts, he was top 6 in points per game. He had a QBR of 66.6. That's top 12. He had 5 rushing touchdowns. He had a PFF pass grade of 78.5. That's also top 12. He had an ADOT of 9.1, top 12. Adjusted yards per attempt, top 6. Top 6 passer rating. He kept the ball out of harm's way. Big time throw percentage, top 12. Rushing yards per game. That was one of the things that he took a huge step back on because of freaking Petula. You know? Like, he's usually known for rushing the ball, and they really held him back as far as that goes. Top 6 and not turning over the ball. So it's just like, what more do you want? Jesus. He's easily a top 6 QB in the league. People are like,
Rock,
he's the problem.
Hey, Rock, man, listen. Told you I'm doing a couple of solo videos. One of us about Jalen Hurts, and go buy the drip, baby. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Buy the drip on Jalen Hurts because I'm buying. You feel me? So I know Patty said love Hurts for fantasy.
That was the best Nike ad when they said love Hurts. That was awesome.
I just say this, Patty, man. When you start naming your top 10 and you go past Jalen Hurts, really tell me, do you believe in those other guys? Because it sounds good to say Hurts is a problem. Start looking at them guys that's behind them or one in front of them and say, I might start sticking with Hurts in this conversation.
Yeah, that's some like Chris Sims Jr. Clown bullshit when he starts naming the best QBs and he doesn't have guys like Hurts in the top 10. It make no damn sense. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I know, Rock, man, I will let you get on your run, brother, because I didn't know what Bad Bunny was talking about. You know, it was a very controversial for whatever reason show, right? I'll just say, Rock, I'm not gonna say I didn't like Bad Bunny. I'll just say I didn't know what was going on, so I just was like, all right, cool. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a reaction from me. It was just like, oh, okay, all right, cool. My thing with
no hablo español, Fizz.
I mean, because I don't watch halftime shows anyway, bro. So I'm keeping 100 with you. It wasn't like I was going into this like, oh yes, I can't. It was just like, all right, cool. When we start the game back, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't hit me either or. Didn't not like it, did not hate it. So it was just cool. I will just say though, for the world to be in an uproar, man, is just crazy over this. But you know, the memes are out, all the stuff going on, and people, you know, got their pictures and photos and this and that. I'll just say for the world, it seems to be very entertaining for those that really love Bad Bunny. And I even saw some people that didn't know anything about him or didn't watch him, you know, a lot, that even converted to say, hey, you know what, it wasn't a bad show to me. So you break it down. One, let me know what the first song was, and did you hit on those odds if they? Because I can't remember, but let me know what the first song was, and whoever hit that knew what the song was playing.
It was Titi Me Pregunto.
Okay.
I didn't get that one. I thought it was going to be Nevo Yo. That ended up being the banger that they played in the middle of the show.
Okay.
So I knew that they were going to either play that at the beginning or play it in the middle, because they always save one of the bangers for either the beginning or the middle just to get the juices flowing so you can end on a high note. So Nevo Yo was in the beginning. Right after they did Gasolina, everyone, when that part happened and they started saying Gasolina after Daddy Yankee, that part was so freaking good. I thought that, but the whole show, you're asking me what my thoughts were on the whole show.
I mean, because I know you actually watched Bad Bunny, so you would know a little bit more than me.
It was more than just a halftime show. What I really, really appreciate about this show and Kendrick's last year is that it tells a story. It comments on different things that are happening in our culture right now. But what I really, really loved about this halftime show is that he did a great job of epitomizing Latin culture. And you really felt like with all the people that he had during that entire production and the way that he just went through and showed what Latin culture is like, what their lives are like, and being able to, I mean, they had a freaking wedding during the halftime show, Fizz.
Yeah. I caught a picture where they had a child sleeping on a chair, and he was like, "If you know, you know." Like in any Latin household, you got somebody sleeping on a chair in the middle of a party or something like that. So he a lot of culture was added into this 100%.
And that was like showing all the culture. I mean, him gone through that, that corn maze, and then showing like there's someone selling gold jewelry. There's someone that's giving out drinks. There's someone that's, these women that are trying to build a building, I guess, with cinder blocks. I mean, he had everything in the damn show. He had two amazing guests with Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin. That was wild. That was awesome. And then you have Pedro Pascal, you have Jessica Alba, and you have Cardi B in the background, Fizz. Everyone, you could just tell, was having a good time. And that's the thing that I appreciated the most about this, is that it felt like fun. It felt like he was having his family there with him. He was showing what life is all about. And at the end, when you had all the different flags from all the different countries in Central and South America, in Mexico, he even gives a shout out to Canada, which I thought was hilarious. But this, the entire Americas, both North and South and Central. So, and it felt very unifying. It felt very authentic and genuine. So that's the reason why I really, really liked this show. And he played a lot of his best songs. The only thing that would have made it the best show of all time is if Cardi B and him were able to do I Like That. But that's more of her song. I can understand why they ended up not doing that song. But yeah, I thought this was an all-time performance. I think easily top 5, maybe even top 3 halftime shows all time, just for everything that he hit on in that halftime.
Well, you see, and one thing I will say I like about today's world, which I probably will and probably should do, go on YouTube and look up the breakdown of the halftime. Because I'm sure somebody got a whole breakdown of what this meant, what that was. So that's probably something I take time to do, man. Like I said, I'm not really a halftime watcher, but that was a pretty, cool event. Like I said, it didn't bother me either or. I just like, all right, cool. Let's, when the game started. But shout out to Bad Bunny, man. It's all good. I think though, when you look at the halftime, this one just made a bigger deal. Like, right, and this is what I will say about the game. That's why I said this game wasn't what it could have been. I heard more about Bad Bunny and Cardi B than I heard about the Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks, bro. All of the media
stunk.
That's my point. The media is based on the halftime show. We had I saw a video of a guy arguing with a restaurant owner, said, man, I came here to watch the halftime show, and then he's flipped on to the other one. And I'm just like, bro, this man went to a restaurant just to watch the halftime show. He didn't even care about the game. He cared less about it if football was on. He said, I can't even watch the halftime show.
I mean, when you have the number one artist in the world, at least the NFL, they're not rolling out Bruce Springsteen 20 years past his prime.
Yeah.
At least the last 2 years, they've had the 2 biggest artists in the world.
Times, yeah.
So I can only imagine who's next year's is going to be. So I don't know. Who do you want next year's to be? If you could have anyone.
Well, it's in LA. I'm not sure if that matters. Because I'm not going to lie. I think also this San Francisco location is what actually helped Bad Bunny in a sense too. Like the area, right? The culture of what's around in that area, I believe, was a good thing for what they had presented. With it being in LA again, I'm not sure they're gonna keep it with a local thing. I'm not sure if they're gonna do like this a whole different type of show. I would just say if we talking genres, if it's rock band, I couldn't tell you who. If it's like a singer, R&B, soul, whatever. See, this is the thing about the halftime show, bro. It can't just be good music. It has to be someone that performs, someone that moves, puts on a show, right? It can't just be the number one singer, and we got to be able to move out our seats and feel the music. So I don't know, man. I don't watch it, so I don't know. Put me on there. I wrote me off. I ain't right on back. You know what I'm saying? Like, put me on that thing. I was just saying. I don't care. I ain't gonna watch it anyway. Who you think? I don't know.
Fizz, if I can have one artist, and I know Mike would agree with me on this.
Yeah.
It's going to be Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims. I was just about to say that. Once you said Mike, Teddy Swims is his boy, man. You think the world ready for Teddy?
I mean, they better be, because I think of all the vocalists that are out there, there's very few people that when he starts singing, he gets really into you, like into your soul. The hairs in the back of your head go up. It's just awesome. I just absolutely love Teddy Swims. The only other person that I would say that would even come close to that, Fizz, I did get to go see this past weekend, probably one of the best singers that we'll ever have, ever. I saw Andre Bocelli in concert, and it was, if you saw what he was able to do, just 24 hours, Fizz, he flew from Milan to Columbus after doing the opening ceremony for the Olympics. It was one of the most like world life-changing events I've ever gone to. I've been in a funk over the last couple months, and there's something about the power of music just to be able to change your whole outlook on things.
Yes,
be able to wash away whatever grief that you're going through. Andre Bocelli, one of the best things I've ever experienced in my life. So unless you get someone like that, I mean, that's what I want. I want someone that is able to really affect people like that. Teddy Swims, absolutely amazing. That's why I want Teddy Swims for next year.
All right. I'm with you, brother. Well, hey, Teddy, let's get to swimming, big dog. All right. I don't know if you heard much about the other halftime show, Rock, but I just bring up this joke that I saw. They were saying
I heard it wasn't that good,
bro. They were saying Kid Rock was lip singing, right? And he was out of sync with his words weren't matching the music. Somebody made a meme and said, "This is Hillbilly Vanilli, not Millie Vanilli. Hillbilly Vanilli." Man, I was crying laughing, man. So, shout out to those that no shout out to you if you decided to skip Bad Bunny, man. But
dude, Bad Bunny was not lip syncing. The fact that he was walking the entire time, he was climbing up fucking telephone poles, he was falling through buildings, and to not be able to like get completely winded from doing all that shit.
I don't listen to Bad Bunny, but I will tell you this: the one thing I learned about Bad Bunny, when he ready for that breath, he gonna say, "Hey, hey." Hey, he was in that hey every time. Out to the hey. My man, he ain't got that hey. That's his ad lib, baby. So if I see Bunny in the streets, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm on it. You feel me? Might gotta clip that, man. We might gotta say that as a sound bite, baby. But yeah, man, good halftime show, good overall, I guess, experience. It's how we ended the season. It is 2026 coming up. And I guess we can go out, Rock, with a little bit of news I want to touch on. We don't gotta speak on it long because these are debating topics. I don't want to debate them though. Cooper Cup, him winning his second Super Bowl, winning the MVP in the Super Bowl, being that man and the Triple Crown King. Where you at with him? If he lasts another year or so, does his thing, he a Hall of Fame at some point or what? Where we at with him?
Hall of Famer. Here, let me look up.
I'm not saying the first ballot at all. I'm just saying at some point. Because he didn't just win 2 Super Bowls. The first year, he was the reason he won a Super Bowl. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Triple Crown King. He won the MVP of the Super Bowl. Like, people forget how good Cooper Kupp was when he was the tip of the cup, baby. So where is he at? At some point, 10 years down the line, whatever. Is he a Super Bowl guy? I mean, a Hall of Fame guy.
I don't think he is. Only because, unfortunately, he has had too many unhealthy seasons. So he's been okay. Just to know where he ranks right now, Fizz. He has had 5 healthy seasons throughout his career. Of those 5 healthy seasons, he's been top 12 twice.
Okay.
So he was a 3rd-year breakout at 26 years old in 2019. So to do it 2 times.
But I will just say this. Yes, he only had 5 healthy seasons, but those seasons he wasn't healthy, he was at the top of his game before he got hurt too. Like, injury caused him to not progress through the season, but he was top 5. He was a dog, Rock. Like, he was coming in fantasy while averaging 20 points a game.
Yeah. See, for me, like, there are more impressive guys. So here's some guys that are ranking ahead of him. Jarvis Landry had 7 healthy seasons. He did it 3 times, Fizz. Des Bryant had 3 top 12 seasons in 6 years. Demarius Thomas did it 4 times in 7.
You know, people care about rings. No Super Bowls. So everybody you naming me, Cup can stand next to them until he pull them fingers out and do this.
Mm.
Now he take a step over. I'm just saying, I know the line is long. There are a lot of older guys that haven't made it yet. Bill Belichick being one.
Here's some other names. Here, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Chad Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Roddy White, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne. It's just like they're more impressive than what I think Cooper Kupp has done. And most of those guys are not in the Hall of Fame. So he has a long list of people. And then that's the great tier, Fizz. That's not Hall of Fame elite tier. There's like 20 guys that I think over the last 25 years have done far better than he has. So I want to break those down for when we do the archetype series, Fizz. But that's what I just finished up yesterday, was the wide receivers. So Cooper Kupp, he's in the great tier. He's top 40 of all wide receivers the last 25 years, Fizz. He's at least in the top 40. But
he's top 40. His 2 Super Bowls put him in the top 25 then, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't just look at just Super Bowl wins, though. I look at, were you
we on the same page? I'm talking about that because I hate that Allen Iverson, his conversation, right? He's not a great because he don't want to go. I mean, won a ring. That's crazy, right? I'm with you on the ring thing. I hate that conversation. But I'm talking about the voters. The voters go with who they like.
So over the last 10 years, would you say that he's been, what's your threshold? A top 5 receiver, a top 6 wide receiver? I want to say that he is. He's gone.
Cooper Kupp, baby. That's all I'm gonna tell you. All right, that's my man right there. I'm gonna leave it at that. Don't ask me because I'm a Kupp fan. That's my dog. All right, so
I like him too. I think he's great. I don't think he's elite. So.
All right, there we go. That's all that. So no Hall of Fame. All right. Well, excuse me for y'all for stepping off. I just have to remind my boy, man, I'm holding the cup at all times. All right, baby. Let's move on from that one. Rock. David Njoku said he announced yesterday he will not be re-signing with the Cleveland Browns. That means we don't have to worry about it, which it didn't look like this year we had to worry at all. But Harold Fannin is locked in, tight end 1. No worries, no questions about it. Probably locked in as number 1 target because Jerry Jeudy is not a threat. But going forward with Njoku, Rock.
He's a threat to himself. That's it.
David Njoku, good landing spot for him. Give me 2. AFC and NFC. Just give me 2 different sides. Or it could be both sides. You know, let's
get Cade Otton out of Tampa Bay. He's a free agent. And let's get David Njoku back with Baker Mayfield cooking up.
Like that. That's tough. Damn, I ain't think that far, bro. I'm asking the question without thinking about it before I ask you. So I didn't. I'm just saying, I'm going to give you one better.
Top that, Fizz.
Okay. Washington Commanders.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
That Zach Ertz target share that he was getting. Imagine David Njoku getting that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Okay. All right. Well, sound like a new home will be getting found. And Njoku, man, you coming to DMV, Bay, holler at your boy. I'll show you around, man. Take you to the go-go or something. All right. So we're gonna see what's good with that. But David Njoku to the Commanders or the Bucks. Let's put it down. One of us gonna win that.
Let's see him in red or burgundy. Let's do that.
There we go. So you like that? You like that one a little better?
No, not better. I like mine better. That's fine.
All right, cool. Well, this is one that I want to bring up. I'm not going to debate on it, but I did want to bring this up. We have a young rookie man, James Pierce. He's going through his trials. The video is out there for those that haven't seen it, Rock. But I just want to bring it. Yeah, I want to bring this up, man, because 1, we should never hit a woman, never be going through this domestic situation. But 2, man, just imagine, Rock. The Atlanta Falcons have traded a 1st and a 2nd round pick. We all feel like they got finessed and fleeced by the Rams for even doing it anyway. They go draft this young man in the 1st round. I mean, he had the 5th-year option. He has all of this future going ahead. One of the top defenses in the league when they was playing, once he got his footing in the game, Atlanta Falcons defense was one of those ones, man. And to be living the dream, bro, just for all of this mess to be going on in the offseason. He was just at the award show and the Super Bowl weekend, and now you on video fighting against the cops, right? Like, things could have went totally left. I will just say, I thankfully nothing happened to him, like, physically. Watching the video, I told myself this: if that was me or you, they would have shot us, because there's no way the amount of fighting that he was doing, the police would have dealt with that. I think they knew they didn't want the NFL investigation problems, and they just kind of lightly handled it. Thankfully, no one got severely hurt. I just say, man, in your life and in these superstars, athletes, whatever you are, man, if you can avoid getting in trouble, man, and avoid bad situations or drama or whatever, there's something that's gonna push you to the point of losing your career when you're making millions of dollars and living your dream. Just get out of there, man. All right. So the story is out there if you need to read about it, but his dude definitely did everything he could to continue this instead of saying, you know what, let me back out. And hey, I would hate Rock for my son to be in this situation. And then he called me like, Dad, I need you to get your job back, brother. You I can't take care of you no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just wanted to bring that up, man, because it is in the news. And for those that haven't read about it, didn't hear about it, James Pierce Jr., Atlanta Falcons defensive end, facing 5 felony charges currently, man. So hopefully everything goes the way it goes, Rock. And I'm not sure if you know, but his girlfriend is actually a WNBA superstar. So that makes it even worse that this is never going to get out of the news, bro. So think before you react is all I'm going to say on that one, Rock. Any words, brother?
I think the only thing with that is just like we want to see people turn things around. You know,
Sure.
We're not in the public eye. We're as far as just like whatever we do is under a microscope. So yeah, I hope he turns it around. So.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, a couple more, man, before we get up out of here. This next, we just talked about this, man. Clint Kubiak with the Raiders. What's your thoughts with that, bro? Are we one? Mendoza, is that the pick? You ordered with Mendoza?
That's not what I would do in that situation, Fizz. So Kubiak, he's 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This is his 6th team in 6 years, Fizz. So he's been all over the place. I hope that he takes a page out of what Mike McDonald and Joe Schneider were able to do in Seattle. You have a cornerstone piece in Max Crosby. Build up that defense. If defense is going to be the new thing that really like puts you in that Super Bowl run, Fizz, what we've seen over the last 2 years, it's not new. They have always been saying defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. But the offense in the NFL have made it so clear that it's just like, well, we want QBs to be the stars. We want these wide receivers and RBs to be the stars. Build that defense up. So keep Max Crosby, trade back. That defense is awful. Mendoza doesn't have anyone to throw to outside of Brock Bowers and Ashton Jensen to be able to tuck it down. You need a whole offensive line. It's just like, there's too many things. Don't throw Mendoza out there just to get killed. He's just going to end up like Sam Darnold. Maybe he'll be in a Super Bowl 5-tier, teams from now in about 10 years. So it's just like, build up that defense. That's what I would do if I was Clint Kubiak. What would you do?
It's just like you just said, bro. That's the problem, right? Caleb Williams, we just talked about him over the offseason. He was thrown in a situation that could have been good. They put all these pieces around him, but they didn't have the offense, the mind to kind of get everything gelled up.
Mm-hmm.
Kubiak could be that offensive mind, but if you got a quarterback that has nothing to get the ball to or a defense to kind of slow things down, that can not work out too. And we all want these number 1 overall picks to take over franchises. Jaden Daniels, he tired of defense too, right? Jaden Daniels, Drake May. You got these quarterbacks in these situations where he about to be thrown. Like
everyone, look at Fizz. He's like hitting the dog down. He's like, shut up.
It's because I'm pressing his zap button. I'm about to zap his button in a minute. He about to be Bailey Zappy in a second. All right. Rock, go ahead. Let me grab this fool, man. Take over, right? Cool.
Man, Govnick is bringing up Christian Wilkins. Man, all they had as a GM at the time was a guy that was doing NFL network shit. And they thought, because he breaks down the game on TV, that he knows what he's doing. Man, the whole freaking whoever that guy was in John Gruden situation with Antonio Brown running around crazy, that's not what NFL football is all about. That was just a crazy situation they had with the Raiders back then. They need to there's lots of great pass rushers in this class, Fizz. So if you are going to build up the defense, this is going to be a good year to do it.
I'm going to be honest, though, Rock, and I'm glad I'm back to where I need to be. I'll just say, with this Raiders team, they got to be patient, man. When they went and got these old coaches, they really thought in their minds they had a chance, bro. They went and got Geno. They thought, this is our time. Little did they know.
They pulled the Steelers.
But I'm saying, think about this. Everybody around them got 10 times better. The Denver Broncos, one of the best rosters in the league on the defensive side. Because I'm gonna go to what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
LA Chargers, one of the best defenses in the league. The Kansas City Chiefs defense kind of got a little older, but defense seems to be, like you just said, the formula to try to get everything in motion. And I think what the Raiders didn't pay attention to was, we got a lot of max contracts. We got a lot of old players or old coaches. We need to try to win right now. You got to go through the process, man. It's a process in this game that I hope that they take, and I hope that they give the coach a chance. Pete Carroll wasn't signed to say, hey, we got a 3-year window. That was I needed the right now.
And they traded their best wide receiver in Jacoby Myers.
Facts.
Just like, who are you going to run out there
and
with?
then they
Trey
drafted
Tucker?
a running back at 105 or 6 and thinking, when you draft the running back that early, Rock, you're pretty much saying we got everything else we need. We just need a running back and we good to go. I know the talent was there, but that wasn't the pick they should have made, man. So,
well, that's what I would personally do, but they're probably going to draft Mendoza.
I'm with you. I think they got Gov. I'm with you, though. They need the old line very, very bad. My biggest fear for Mendoza is that he gets drafted and we throw him to the washing machine after 5 games and say, man, this dude is not as good. Look at Cam Ward, right? Cam Ward is going through those woes right now. He was the number 1 prospect in his class, number 1 quarterback coming out, went to a very, very bad situation. And hopefully in 2026, with a new coach, they got I got over the cap on right now. The Titans have 104 cap space. I'm pretty sure Robert Saleh took that job knowing, hey, I just watched Mike Vrabel go to New England and spend 100-something million or over 200 million on defense alone. Now I can go there in Tennessee. They're giving me the keys to the castle, and I can do all this. And I have my quarterback. I'm not saying Drake May and Ward will have the same trajectory, how they played out. But I believe Robert Saleh went there with one thing in mind, Rock. Get that defense locked in. Get my boy Cam Ward, one of his players he need. And I think the Titans are going to do what you're saying the Raiders should do. I think the Titans are exactly why they hired Robert Saleh, is to get a defense that can shut down some teams.
Saleh, Habibi, please learn from Vrabel. Do not spend all of it on defense, but a lot of it on defense. Please get a wide receiver. You can't go out there with Calvin Ridley and freaking Cameron DK and shit like that. Tony Pollard is your RB.
Yeah.
Please learn from the
Alec Pierce out there, your boy. Go get him.
Go get Alec Pierce. Bring AJ Brown back to Tennessee. Do something. Jeez.
That's tough. But man, like I said, we'll see what's up with the Raiders. Hopefully, we got it. Well, I can say hopefully we do have an off season to break down all this stuff, man. Get the people some salary cap situations. What I want to do though, Rock, to be honest, and I say this before we started the show, we're going to take a little reset and kind of get ourselves together, kind of get ready, prepared for what's next with the COOKUP show.
Yeah.
I want to really start getting into free agency and these landing spots a little more. Because I know we talk about the rookies and what's next, but we forget to look at the players that are already in the league and where they can go. So I think this coming up, man, I want to start looking into where these new landing spots are for these players and what it really looks like. Because a guy like Alec Pierce, who I know you kind of was praising a while ago, like, hey, he is one of those guys, and I kind of slept on him a little bit. He can be a real big factor for the teams. Like, we're going to talk about the A.J. Browns and George Pickens and those guys, but guys like Alec Pierce, man, and
Romeo Dobbs are going to get the bag.
and when they get those bags, these people need to understand, all right, well, I knew about the top 3, but I ain't know about number 5. Like, what does he really bring to this team? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to start doing, man, when we get to the offseason. I want to look into the players, some of the players that are already in the league. So when they start going to these new teams, we understand what to look for with them. Because I think the biggest relationship that we forget to mention, Rock, coach to player relationships. Because a lot of times these new players go to these new coaches. The player could be an A+, coach could be a C-, and now that player comes down. So I think I want to dig a little deeper into the relationships between the coaches and the players when they go to these new teams.
In the words of ATM, that's what you call a money move, Fizz.
Money move, baby. Money move. Cha-ching. You know how we do it, baby. So, Rock, man, hey, I think I'm going to end it with that, big dog. So, again, just to let y'all know, man, we definitely taking a week, but maybe 2, we'll see. But, Rock, man, I showed you some things the other day. Man, we worked on a logo, got a new intro I'm working on. But not only are we working on the cosmetics and all the we're gonna work on the content too, baby. So just know we coming back, sharper minds, sharper tongues. You know, we coming spitting that game to y'all, kicking flavor in your ear, baby. So, hey, Rock, when we come back from this break, man, it's gonna be the same time, same channel. Don't forget about it. Keep that notification on, and we'll still be dropping little stuff in between this break. But going live on Tuesdays, I think we're gonna take at least a week or two off just to kind of regroup and sharpen our tools a little bit, man. So when we come back, we're ready to chop it up.
Fizz, I think the great way to end the 2025 season is with Fizz and Rock's lessons learned. So let's do 3. Let's do one about the NFL. Let's do one about fantasy, and then let's do a personal one. It can either be about this channel, it can be about your own life. So let's give 3 lessons learned each.
I like
which
that.
one do you want to start with?
So we're gonna go tit for tat, or we're gonna go all 3 of ours in order?
Let's do tit for tat.
Okay, NFL. The
NFL, yeah.
I say my lesson learned. Don't sleep on nobody, baby. I know we say this every year, Rock, but if you go look at the teams we predicted, I think I probably picked 1 or 2 more teams than you, but we were definitely off to the point where it wouldn't have mattered. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at the league, right? We think we know what we know until the Seattle shows up, until the Patriots show up, right? And I say this all the time personally, Rock. I think coaching matters. And when I said what I said about McDonald, I said what I said about Mike Vrabel during the offseason, how they got their old formula back with a guy that's already known the Patriots way. All of that matters, man. So when you're looking at your team, be realistic and say, does this coach really fit this team, this city, this aura? If you don't, instead of just being a fan of that team, say, we ain't going to make it this year, baby. Sometimes you just got to lock in like that. So that's my NFL take, Rock. Pay attention to your coach and player and the vibe of the whole situation. That's how you can really evaluate your team.
The biggest lesson that I learned, Fizz, is that players like Sam Darnold, players even like Phillip Rivers, you know, being out of the game for 5 years and almost beating the Super Bowl champions. All it took was a last-second field goal from Jason Myers.
Yeah.
We can't write anyone off. It's just like there are players who go through, all life is a journey, Fizz. It's no different in the NFL. If you can strike fire and, you know, during the right situation, when you have an NFL, you just like elite caliber defense behind you, supporting you like Sam Darnold, I'm just so happy and proud of what he was able to do. We talked about they had both the worst games between Drake May and Sam Darnold in that Super Bowl. But Sam Darnold, Fizz, he was able to stay clean. He joins Drew Brees and Joe Flacco, never turning the ball over once. And that's what matters at the end of the game. And he was able just to make enough plays to be able to take his team all the way into the promised land. So can't write people off. A lot of these guys that I'm going through, looking at the last 25 years, Fizz, a lot of them are 5th-year breakouts, 6-year breakouts. Sometimes you have players like Julian Edelman, 11th year breakout, Fizz. So all these guys, it's just like you never really know until their story is over, Fizz. So sometimes just be patient with a lot of these guys. That was probably the biggest lesson I learned from the NFL side.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. Be patient, pay attention, man. Because like I said, a lot of times people come to us for the news or they go to the TV for the news. But when you watching what other people say, you kind of get stuck on their narrative. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and look at things from your own lenses, man, and see what you actually believe. So the next one was what? Fantasy, right?
Fantasy. So what are we doing for this upcoming season? Our startups, our rookie drafts, our trades. What's the biggest lesson you learned?
I'll just say learning from last year into this year, I'm gonna carry over some stuff, and more so, I'm gonna bet on myself, man. Get my own agenda, right? Customize my routine in a sense. I think again, I just brought it up before you just said that. We watch people, we learn, and then we forget that we have our own lenses, we have our own thoughts, we have our own process that we need to create. So create your own process, man. Just take my advice, take T-Rock's advice, but just know it ain't always be right. It might be right for us, but you got to kind of go into there with already saying, hey, I know what I want. I'm going to just see what they can add to it. Don't just go in there blindly with 0 on and then think that we're going to fill you up to 100 and now you're stuck with, well, they told me what to do, so I'm going to just do it. At least go in there with 50%. Take the 25 and 25 from us or other people and add that to what you got. But come in there with something in your pockets versus just I'm listening to y'all. What you got for me? You know.
Yeah, and I broke this down at the end of our rookie series, Fizz, the upside down class that we did, the Stranger Things with these rookies. I'm going 0 dark 30, Fizz, going into this offseason. I listened to way too much content last year looking, at this 2025 class, and there were too many differing opinions, too much negativity around guys that you and me both liked and that my process really liked too. And I just dinged them a little bit too much, especially when it came to the draft class or draft day, seeing guys like Cam Scatabo fall a little bit, seeing guys like Harold Fannin go to a not
Mika
Ibuka. I was glad that I was super high on them throughout the entire time, Fizz. But yeah, a lot of these guys, you never were going to really know until maybe sometimes halfway during the season, maybe not till the end of the season, Fizz, but stick with your guys. Colson Loveland, he ended up popping off in the playoffs, Fizz. So it's just like that was a guy that we were very, very high on throughout the season. I know that Evie and me, we planted our flag on Colson Loveland. So just give these guys some time and stick with your guys. Just like you were saying when you went on Seth's show, just like go with your guys. At the end of the day, you're the one that's pressed the button on them and just stick with them. It's just like, even after, if they have a rough first year, Fizz, well, that's great. Now they're cheap. Now you can trade for even more of them. So just stick with your guys. Don't listen to too much content out there. At least listen to guys like us. We know we do the research, and we're going to separate it from all the bias, partial bullshit.
There we go, baby. And what was the last one? Life of Self thing, or what was the last one, bro?
Yeah, so something you learned for yourself, maybe something that you learned through just this last year of the COOKUP.
Yeah. Well, I give two, right? Content wise and life wise. So I just say content. One thing I'm learning, or that I probably already knew, but I want to start getting more of, is being consistent. That's the one thing. Like, y'all come watch us, and we appreciate y'all being here. But I know if I take a break, it's like, man, I get text, man, you ain't got no show this week. Like, just that consistency. Now I know everyone knows we're human, and we have lives too. But nobody care about that, Rock. Get your ass on the screen. I don't care what you're doing. Like, that's how most people are. And I ain't mad at that, because I want you here. So I want to give you my time, and I appreciate you wanting, to spend your time watching it. So being consistent with the content, but also being original, being who I am. Because I don't know if many saw the episode that I did with Seth recently, but I spoke on giving my content the way I do real life. And me, I'm a real personal person. Like, if I meet you one time, I want to feel like I met you 10 times before that one time. Like, we probably end up talking for 5 minutes. It's going to feel like we've known each other 5 years most of the time. I'm kind of an open book in a sense. So with my content, you always going to get these conversations, and you always going to get the real me. So if you ever see me in person, I ain't a different person when these lights go off. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same guy, same dude. So yeah, just getting personal with my content and keeping it authentic so that people understand when I'm on the screen, I'm the same person off. So content wise, I'll say that being consistent with the content, but also being consistently me. And I just say life wise, one thing I'm starting to tell myself, Rock, is as much as I do this content for like the NFL and sports seasons, I'm gonna start treating my life like a season, man. So if last year I played good, December 31st or 30, whatever the end of the year is, that was my Super Bowl coming into the 2026 season. How did I finish, right? Did I win? Did I have some streaks? Did I lose? So each year, I'm going to start telling myself it's a new season. So January 1st was a new season, but to go back to 2025, I want to say I finished on a high note, probably my highest note in a while. And I'm going to keep it going. So I'm going into this season. We in February right now. So, I'm feeling good, baby. That's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I think putting more on my plate, as much as I complain about being tired, Rock, you can't ask for more food if you ain't gonna eat it, baby. You got to eat it. So I want it all on my plate. I'm trying to fill it up to the top. So when you don't see me, just know I ain't laying down, man. I'm getting that work in. So mentally, I'm 100%, baby. I think I'm good. Now I just got to work on the physicals, man. I was told my cheek getting too fat, so I got to work on that, baby. But I will just say I ain't had a drink, Rock, since December 16th, baby. So doing good. You know what I'm saying? I'm laying low. I'm cooling, man. So mentally, I'm there. Just want to get my body right. I know Pops always talk about his 4-pack. I got to give me the 2-pack. 2-pack, Tupac. Your boy is working on it, baby. All right. But yeah, man, I'm here taking life season by season, man. 2026. This is my 38th season, Rock. So we working, baby. We working.
I like that, Fizz. Also, too, it's not just tea in this drink, so I appreciate at least somebody sober on this show.
For sure.
I think the biggest thing for me, and it's something that both of us echo, is that, guys, in order to get through life, you don't want to just get through life and endure it and survive it. You want to be able to like conquer all the different obstacles that we have in front of us. And you have to be at the very best. In order to do that, you have to invest in your health, whether that's your diet, whether that's your exercise, whether that's your sleep. You really need all three. You really can't survive and just conquer life without having all of those things. So invest in yourself so that you have the energy and the attitude to be able to face all life's challenges. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned over the past year, Fizz. Was able to lose 25 pounds and you have another. Actually, I've lost like 35 pounds now. I need to lose like another 15 more in order to hit my goal. So I think that's a big thing. So invest in yourself. I think the biggest thing for this upcoming season, Fizz, that I really want to learn is to be able to have that enthusiasm that John Harbaugh talks about, and an enthusiasm that's unknown to mankind. So to be able to really bring people and rally people and inspire people, I want to be able to have that in me. I want to be able to have a genuine smile on my face because I am thankful for everything that I have going on. I have the best life of anyone that I know, and I want to be able to share that with other people. So to have that genuine love and enthusiasm that's infectious, that impacts other people in a positive way, that's what I really want for this upcoming season, Fizz. Regardless of all the things that I have going on, I don't want to be like a lot of people, Fizz, in my life. They always look tired and they always look unhappy. And all they do is complain about work and their kids. And it's just like, Fizz, I did not want to be like that whatsoever. I want to look like, hey, Rock knows what he's doing in life. Hey, he's looking good. Hey, he's happy. Why can't I have that for myself? Guys, you can. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned for myself and what I want to work on for 2026, Fizz.
There we go, baby. Yeah, work on yourself, man. But one thing I will just say, Rock, I know we talking forever. That's why we ain't about to do it. But customize your life, you know? Walk around here like you want your life to be exactly you want it to be. I know your work schedule. You might work at a job you can't stand. You can't 100% do what you want to do. That's cool, right? We all got kids or family or jobs that we can't 100% devour our 24 hours to ourselves. But at the little bit of time you get to yourself, customize it. Do exactly what you want to do. And everything else will work out, man. Sometimes 4 hours of customization, Rock, can cover 20 hours of that. You know what I'm saying? So you spend 20 hours doing something else. Spend 4 hours to yourself, baby. You know, so customize your life. I know when I play games, Rock, when I create a player, that fool better be just like me, except his jump shot gonna be a little bit better. But, you know, he gonna be me because it's me. So customize your life, baby. That's the best way to live. You only live one time, big dog. All right. So I know Gov said he wanted the word of wisdom. I'm not sure if that was the word of wisdom or not, Rock, but
I got a different one. I got another one.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, we appreciate you, Gov, for always coming through, man. The authenticity, creativity, man. We appreciate it, big dog. We're gonna try to keep doing what we're doing. But Rock, lead us out, man. Let us know what's popping with it.
So my word of wisdom for the week, and this is based off a real study, Fizz. Almost 90% of the top performers in childhood, what they call child prodigies, were not the same people who became elite as adults, Fizz. The path to excellence isn't a race to the front. It's a willingness to keep learning long after others stop. And that's my word of wisdom for the week.
Hey, Rock. Long after others stop. That's the key words, my brother. All right. Long after other stop, because you could put 100 people in the room. They said, what, 100 men versus a gorilla? You put 100 men in that room, not everybody's going to want to stay there. You put that,
You're gonna have 100 dead people pissed.
No, that's bad. I don't know why I correlated it with the damn gorilla, but I'm just saying 100 people in one room, you're gonna have one egg that crack, and then others are gonna go and others are gonna go, but you're gonna have them ones, man, that just say, I ain't stopping until it's over. So be one of those ones that ain't stopping, baby. And if you find out that you're in a room that you don't need to be in, find another room. But always find something to get better in. That's what we're here for. We ain't here to be the same people every day. So good call on that one.
And let's give the people who have been with us all season long
100%.
another shout out.
100%, baby. Well, hold on. We're going to do it this way, Rob, because you know I got to crank it up, baby. Let's get it popping, big dog. Let's get some music playing. We got the ones in the chat, but we also got the ones on our mind. You got some on your mind that you thinking of, too. Shout them out, Rob. But my dog, Big Jake, he was up in here. Big E in here. I ain't going to click all I'm on here, but Pops up in here. J Jack up in here. Gov up in here. Mr. Voorhees up in here, Patty up in this thing, my boy Dustin, all 22FF, Gov, you know he in the building, baby. My man Big E in the building, as always. Terminal, my boy Shizzle's up in here. Rock, who I'm missing? My boy Dynasty. Who? Give me a name, Rock. Hook it up.
We got Dustin.
Yes, sir.
We got Mr. Wonderful. He came in a couple of different times.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate. We got your mom.
There we go.
So when I stopped cooking, she wasn't watching as many different shows.
I forgot about
Maybe
that.
I have to bring that back. I do, Fizz. I am really excited. I have a new segment I haven't even told you about that I'm super excited for.
There we go. That's what I like to hear, brother. All right. Well, I mean, I know I got some other names that I probably forgot to mention, but you know we all love you, man. So hey, shout out to the Vibe, shout out to the COOKUP, baby. Just give us a week, maybe two, but we will be back with the new content, getting y'all ready for the 2026 season. Everybody need an off season. We're gonna take ours. All right. So
and we want to be here without the rest of the South Harmon team, Viz. So even if we're not going to be on for the next week or two, tune in for 8 p.m. Tune in for Mike. Tune for Coop, Evie, Maddie. We have a whole team that's got you guys covered too. So
for sure, we I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but we just the only morning activity. But you got those night shift, you got the evening shift. You feel me? So make sure you stay tapped in, man. All the links will be in the descriptions. Hit those, man. Hit those likes. Hit those comments. Share this with your friends. Share this with your baby mamas. Unless you're Stephon Diggs, you don't want to keep your baby mamas close. All right. I'm just saying that to say, baby, share it, hook it up. Make sure you know what's good. And hey. For the people that's here, for the people that's not, Rock, we out of this thing, huh?
I see you guys next year.
Bye. See y'all next year.